second project using the Wonderful Wilderness, I'm going to use the spotted diamond. Now, remember when we used the oval, the striped oval, I used the outside die, the detail and the inside to create a frame. This time I'm not going to use the outside die. So I'm not using the one on there. So this is going to cut into my cardstock and it will stay within my cardstock. Now if I cut that, I would still have a matte detail in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the inside one to create an aperture. Let me put these onto my cutting mat before we start. Otherwise I think I'm going to, everything will move when I try to lift it up. So I can pop the diamond on there, so it's quite close to the edge at the top and the bottom, and then I've got those on like that. So pop that on there, and then we can run that through the die cutting machine. What we're going to do then is I'm going to show you, if I take a black piece of card, how to create the perfect frame to go in the centre. So I'm going to get a nice new piece of tape ready so that that will then hold. So I need this one to come out. Now you always remember, when I say when you create your frames, you should always work from the top down. So let's have a look on here. I'm not going to need my cut tidy for the next one. So if we have a look at this, there we go. Oops, get rid of that. There we are. Can you see how that's now cut into my cardstock? We've used the aperture in the middle, but we've not got a blade on the outside. What we need to do now is take these away. There we go. And I need to use this one again. The one that cut that, I'm going to use to cut my aperture in my black card. So I've got more bits here than bits everywhere. I keep walking them all over the house. So what I'm going to do, get rid of all these bits, put my black cardstock down. Then I'm going to get my frame. I'm going to line it up so it should just have the very slightest border around the outside. So I make sure I know where that border is. And then I'm just going to slide this underneath. Because I'm using the same size, I'm just going to slide that underneath there. Just like that. That should be cutting in the right place. So I can now lift the white layer off, hold that down, and then I can pop my tape on, and that should now cut the perfect aperture for that topper. So let's cut that out and see if it's worked. Hopefully it has. Taking a bit of a punt here, aren't I? So we've got our card base, and what I've got is, look at this beautiful pattern paper, and I'm going to pop that onto my card. So it's a tent-fold card, but I've not actually got the tent fold going all the way up. You can chop and change them around how you do them, so it's a different look. I'll go and collect that. That went a little bit more powerful than I expected. I've never seen this machine do that before. Let me grab those. Oh, this machine doesn't normally do that. Right, got those back. And there we have our frame. So that's going to go onto here. So you can see we've got perfect border. And then this one is going to fit onto there. And can you see the black isn't showing inside the aperture? That's worked absolutely perfectly. Now, that's quite busy in the centre. So what we're going to do is, using one of the papers off the USB, we're going to pop that behind there so that that gives us something to focus on. So let's pop that into there, and we can pop this on here. Now I'm going to pop this on with wet glue, and then once I put it onto the black layer, I'm then going to use some foam tape. There we go, pop that on there, and that's going to go, as we said, on to here. Let's line that up. Perfect border all the way around. There we go. That looks lovely, doesn't it? And then, like I say, we're going to just use some foam tape, and we're going to pop it down the sides as we go. There we are. All the way, oops, it's a little bit wonky. Let's go across the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to just take a length here and cut it into 4. There we go. And I'm going to just go round the aperture. We don't want it to sag round the aperture, so we're just going to put a little bit of foam tape just around there. Now let's just hope that hasn't moved. Should be okay. Right, so I'm going to glue this one down, and this is going to go create the image through my aperture, and that's going to go just on there. Let's make sure it's far enough over that side. I think it is. Let's just double check. Perfect. Now, with this die collection, you've got another set of dies called, let's find it, there we are, Looking Out Over the Wilderness. So you've got, it's like hedges, trees and hills and mountains. And I've cut the trees in black and white. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create the smallest little drop shadow. So you can just see that hint of white. I don't know how clear it is showing on there, but it will show once we put it onto my card. And I'm going to pop that one on top of the other. It just almost look like the sun is setting behind the black shadow by adding that white layer in. And we can pop that on there. Let's just, like I say, the smallest drop shadow. There we go, and then press those on there. There we go. Oh, that one's gone a little bit, there we go. A bit less wonky. And that's now going to go into my card. So we can pop this here. So now can you see, we've got foreground rather, and background as well. So we've got smaller trees and then the larger trees as well. So what we need to do is just trim this down. There we go. Now, have I got that at the right? Do I need that a bit lower? Do I need to trim a bit more off? Let's see what it looks like if we lower it down. Yeah, I'm going to just trim a little bit off the bottom there, I think. So I'm just going to take my scissors. If you've got a paper trimmer, use that. I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to pop that down the bottom, just there. Let's check that's okay. There we go. What you can do is you can always add in, I'm going to actually pop that one in there because it was hiding quite a lot of it. So we can pop this onto the card base. So it just adds extra detail in by being able to add this one in as well. So pop that just there. And then I'm going to take this one, I'm going to add this one in as well. Oh, let's just trim that off a little bit. There we go. There we go. And that's going to go just there. Don't worry about that join, it's going to be hidden when we put everything else on. So let's pop this onto our card base. And we can get the back off the tape. Now, if you've put a lot of foam tape on the back, it's going to really support your topper, which is lovely. If you don't have to take all the backing off if you don't want to. Often you'll see sometimes I don't take all the backing off. As long as you've got enough that it sticks down, the rest will just keep it raised. So it's entirely up to you how much of that backing you take off. So we're nearly there with the basis of our card. And then we just need to add our wildlife. So pop that onto there. And that is going nice. So we've got the lovely little detail around the outside. We've got the view through the aperture, and we've also got those extra trees. So that's going to look lovely just like that. Right, so now we've done that, we need our animals. So I've got my 2 tigers, and I've dropped one. And I've also got my shaded refuge that I've already cut out. So let's cut out our tigers because I want to create a little bit of decoupage. I've got so much stuff on this table, haven't I? Really not a tidy crafter. So let's get those out of the way. And I've got the baby tiger here and also the big tiger just here. So let's pop that onto there, piece of tape. There we go. That's going to go on there. And then the baby tigers, they are really cute, aren't they? And what I love about these is once I cut them out, you'll be able to see how easy they are to separate if you want to just use one rather than both of them. So let's pop that on there. And then we can pop that through our die cutting machine. Now, I nearly missed it. I've also cut out the foundation layers as well. So we can bring in our card base, and what we're going to do is we're going to pop our tigers just like that. And again, we're going to have our, let's bring him a little bit further over that way, our tree coming out behind there. And then we can add, oops, it's already cut out, look at that. By again, the black just pops and follows through with that pattern. And then let's get this one out. And the adult tiger. And I'm just going to show you the difference without the black in a minute, just to show you what a difference it makes. So there we go. We've got those just like that. Now watch this. If we take off the black, can you see? I don't know. It's almost like it frames it, isn't it? It just adds that extra pop of detail just to frame it. Now I do actually have another one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut the little baby out of this one, and I'm going to create my own decoupage with that. So that's going to go on to there. So that now is going to decoupage onto the front there. And then I'm going to use, when I look at these ones, he's further back and he's further forward. So I'm going to cut the one at the back away. And I'm going to use that. Oops, I've twisted his tail. Where's his tail going? There it is. And I'm going to bring that one onto there. Now, look at this. If you wanted to, you could quite easily use that as a second one. So they do work completely independently. So let's have a look at what we're going to do here. Bring in this, our mat. I'm going to get my ball tool and I'm just going to shape very slightly. Shape of that little cub. Bring that in, and then we can pop some glue behind there. As I always say, if I was doing this at home, once I put this together, I would then just leave it to dry before I try to put it onto the card, because you do run the risk of flattening it a bit. Oops, it's got moved into the wrong place. There we go. So remember that little one I did? Cut that out, shape it up. I am going to grab my tweezers and then put some glue behind there, and that one will then sit on the front there. So it really makes, can you see straight away how it looks like he's coming forward? And we're going to do the same with these. Shape them very slightly. And that second one, I'm going to have to just glue that one down because I've just damaged his tail a little bit. We'll get there. So pop that with a little bit of glue gel behind there. Oops. And that's going to go just on there like that. There we go. And then I'm going to grab that. I'm going to just put a little bit of glue under his tail where I've just caught it. There we go. There we are. And then I can do the same just there. And that can pop onto there. So that really makes him stand forward of his little brother. There we are. Assume they're brothers. I don't know. But can you see how it really brings him forward? As I say, always leave them to dry. So I'm going to get this one. Oh, work out now where the tree needs to be. So I'm going to pop the tree there. And again, it's just following through with the tree design from there. So just all adds to that detail. Sometimes you don't know what's missing until it's not there, but you know, pop that in and it makes such a difference. We can then do our tiger. and he's going to go just there. Then we're going to get our little cubs. Now just think of all the people, I'm just working out where my glue needs to be, it's okay. All the people that are going to love these. These cards are going to be for so many occasions. They're going to be birthdays. I can see these as newborn cards with the baby families. They're going to be for anniversaries. If you've got these, you're going to be able to make and sell as many of these as you want for charities, for your animal charities. How about that? Just be you. What a fantastic sentiment. And Mum looking very proudly over the babies.